Having an awareness of whether you're scooping the golf ball can actually be something that's quite difficult to do, because generally the fault happens right down at the point of impact, and generally that happens really quickly. So it's not necessarily something that you could check by looking in a mirror or reading a book to make sure you got your grip right or your stance right. They're all the easy things to check. Scooping the ball can be difficult, because as you hit the ball, that club's traveling at 90 miles an hour and you think, well, did I do something right down here? So actually watching and looking for that is tough to do, but seeing how the ball flies and the faults that you have related to the ball, maybe that's the easiest way of telling whether you're a scooper. Generally, scoopers of the golf ball don't hit the ball very cleanly, very regularly. They're often hitting the ball thin, which is where the club would hit the top portion of the ball. So a thin is anything above the equator. Sometimes they hit the ball fat, which is the opposite, which is too low, hitting the ground before the golf ball. And these two things are quite different, thinning and fatting, but they're very closely related, because a scooper might be having the handle leaning back and the club head rising. Therefore we hit the ground before the ball, fat shots, or we miss the ground, hit the top of the ball, thin shots. So sometimes scoopers hit one shot fat, one shot thin, and don't really feel what they've done differently. The other thing you might be doing as well when you're scooping the ball is, even if you do strike it well, you'll be hitting it very high, and therefore you'll be sacrificing a fair amount of distance and control. The ball will just be going upwards, airborne, as you scoop it up into the sky, and you won't be getting the distance that you'd expect to be getting. So if you are scooping the golf ball, the first consideration might just be the mental approach that you have and the mental flaws that you have in terms of how you hit the ball. Some golfers purely think that with the ball being on the ground, it's their job, their responsibility to help that ball go skywards. But if I try and help that ball in the air, often what you'll see me do is lean back onto my rear leg and flick my hands trying to get underneath it. And unless I've got the ball up on a tee peg, or I've got a very good lie, it's just going to be a real struggle. You can see here I've hit the ground slightly before I hit the ball. It didn't really go all that far, and it just went straight skywards. And that for an 8-iron is not going as far as I want my 8-iron to go. The actual approach that I should be taking, the way I should be trying to hit every single shot with an iron off the ground, is the opposite of a scoop. I should be trying to hit down on the ball. I should be trying to keep the ball as low as I dare, so a normal good setup. But this time at impact, try and hit down with the handle leading the way rather than the club head leading the way. This is a scooper, this is someone leaning back, this is a good ball striker, this is a good divot taker. So hitting the ground and taking a divot is not a bad thing, but the divot needs to come after the ball. So as I've hit down through that shot there, you can see a wonderfully big divot, but it was all ball and then the turf. So avoid being a scooper, drive your body weight more to your front leg, lead with the handle, focus on hitting down on the golf ball, and be a divot taker rather than a scooper.